I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yeah, visible Tanveer.
Okay, so now am I audible? Am I audible?
Tanveer, audible.
Okay, so last class we have done IP addressing. So do you have any question from that class? Okay, so now we are going to see how to configure IP address in this Linux. For that, we have two Linux machines in this VM, and let me turn both on. So meanwhile, we will configure on the first. To manage network, we have to log in with the root. Okay. Here, once we log in, then we have to go in files. Sorry, here in device. Here we have the option network. We have to go in network setting. This setting is required only when we are using on VMware or VMbox. If we need to connect to the internet, then we'll use NAT. If we want to create and connect internally, then we'll use host only adapter. Okay. Once we have done this setting, then we'll click on activities, show application, settings, and then here we have to go to the option network. Last time we have connected to show you on internet, else it will be off. You have to go to the setting, connect automatically, then IPv4, go to manual option and configure the IP. So we have seen we can use any class C IP address. So I'm giving suppose 180.11 for this computer. It is of class C 255.255.0. The subnet mask. Default gateway is basically the IP address of router or the gateway device in our network. So it can be a router, it can be a layer 3 switch, it can be a firewall. So whatever it is, it can be LLB also. That gateway we need to define here. Here is not required. So just apply, turn it on, and then let us see what IP address it is showing. So we can see what we have configured, it is showing here. So this is a graphical way to configure IP address. Once it is done, we have to go to the terminal option. Here we have to write ifconfig space enp0s3. This is the interface name, like we have the Ethernet, Wi-Fi, similarly. So when you type this, then you can see here It is showing what is my IP address, what is my subnet mask, what is my broadcast IP address. Okay, so these all things, and this is the MAC address. Now with this, what we can do after configuring IP address? After configuring IP address, let us configure IP on second device also. So this is device number 1. So let me drag it in the left side. Okay, and we have device number 2 that will drag it in the right side. Okay, so this is a fresh newly installed machine, so that's why we'll get this all welcome messages and everything. Activities terminal. Then here we have to type if config enp0s3. You see no IP address is pre-configured. So again we have to follow the same steps. Devices, network setting. Here we'll set it to host only. Okay, activities, show application settings. Then go to the network. You see by default it is off. Settings. You see this is also unchecked. You have to check it. IP version 4, set it to manual and give the IP. So as to keep both the machine in the same network, we have to give same network IP address. Only the last host part will change. Okay. So for this first machine I've given 11, for this 12. Okay. Now if we check, we can see the IP address is set to 12. After this, the next we have to do is, let us check the IP. Now you can see the IP it is showing is 12. To test the connectivity, we have command ping. So if we ping with the another machine and we get the reply, means connection is there. You see 64 byte we are getting from 180.11. Control C to close, stop, or you can say cancel. -C space the number of packet you want to send. Else if you don't set it, it will ping continuously and you have to stop with Control C. You have given 4, means after 4 packet it will stop. Same test we have to do from another side. Here I will keep give IP of second machine. Here also you see I have not set, so it will continuously ping. So Control C to stop. Okay. Now the next. So we have tested the connectivity. Let us configure one Windows machine also, my own, in the same range. So ncpa.cpl. Here we are connected with the virtual box. So in the virtual box, right click, properties. I will configure the same network IP 180.10. So 10 for Windows, 11 and 12 for both the machine. Now let us test the connectivity from Windows machine, whether both the machines, Linux machines, are communicating or not. You see, we are getting reply from 180.11 and similarly for 12 also. Okay, means both the machines are communicating with each other. Once we have configured IP, as you can see in this all, we are only changing the last part, means the network portion we are keeping same. That's why they are in the same network and they can communicate without help of any router or any layer 3 device. Now the next we have to see how to change the same through command line, this IP address. So here we have a file, configuration file inside the etc folder, this config network minus script, then ifcfg, and then the interface name enp0s3. So etc sysconfig network minus scripts are the folder name and ifcfg minus enp0s3 is the file name. As you can see here, everything is set. So if your machine is in complete command line, then commands are also there, or with this method in the file you can go and make the changes. As you can see, the IP address is set what we have said there. I want to make it 111. You can make or any other changes, control WQ, escape colon WQ. Now how it will take effect? For that we have to use command systemctl restart network minus network manager, where N and M is capital for this. After this, ifconfig enp0s3, the interface name, and then we have to write the command down, means to disable it, and then we have to enable it, else the new changes will not take effect. Now if you check the IP address is changed to 111. So this is the command line way to set the IP address. Now the next we have to see is how to configure host name or computer name. So here you can see for this machine the host name is Linux 1. For this, if we type hostname command, we can see the hostname is localhost.local domain. So how we can change? We have to go in vi editor, etc host names. Hostname is the file name. Here we can see localhost.local domain, dd to delete, or cc to directly change and go in the insert mode. Linux 2, I have given the name, computer name. Once we have done with this, then we have command systemctl restart network manager, and with this we can see changes. Now the name is changed to Linux 2, but why it is not appearing here? It will appear once you exit from this terminal and reopen it. Now you can see it is changed to Linux 2. So these were the things which we need to cover in this configuring and managing network related to this. Okay. What exactly is the networking? Validate the network configuration, change from the command line, editing network files, and setting the host name. Okay. Now, one more thing we have left here, that is transferring files between systems securely. The same thing is also known as SCP, secure copy. Okay. So we are going to see the same. Okay. We'll transfer files from one computer to another computer. You can see here we have a file called Bharat, and On the another machine, we don't have that file. So I want to copy. I'll use SCP, secure copy. Then the IP address of source machine. Okay, colon. Where is the file? The path of the file slash root slash Bharat. Where I want to copy the destination path, I want to copy in my root folder. It is asking, do you want to continue? Yes. Then it is asking the password of a root user for which machine? 111. So once I have given, you can see we are able to see the same. Bharat file is now here also. Okay. So this is from there I want to take. Suppose I have any file, I want to push it from here to there. That is to fetch, now push. Okay. So you can see India file I have to push it. So I will write the same command scp secure copy, then source. So source file is in the current working folder. So I am using the relative path and directly the name. And then where I have to send 180.111, there on which folder? In the root folder. Anywhere else we can give. It's not root mandatory. Now it is asking the password of that machine. Else anyone can push anything. So now it's being transferred. So if you come and see here, we have the file India and the content is same. So I hope this secure copy is clear. Any confusion in that?
No, sir, it's clear.
Hmm? Clear, na? Okay. So this was the secure copy. Now the next is SSH. What exactly is the SSH used for? So SSH is used for remote login. Okay. Suppose in your organization the device is in data center, so you cannot go every time in data center, connect your monitor and access. So wherever you are, inside the office, anywhere, or outside the office, somewhere in any part of the world, if your network is there, if you have the reachability of that device, we can log in command line and graphical, both depends. So SSH is used for remote login in command line mode and secure. There is one more option, telnet, but that creates a open connection. Okay. So for SSH, let us see how it works. So we are on Linux 1, then this one is Linux 2. I want to access Linux 1, so I will write SSH space username @ IP address of that machine. Fill out the password, and now you see on which machine we are. Linux 1. Okay. Same thing. If you want to see in Windows, now you see I came back to after exit, connection closed. In Windows, if I want to access, I'll go to the command prompt. Here also the same command works. SSH root @ root is the username 111. Do you want to continue? Yes. Root password. And you can see in this Windows we are logged in on Linux 1. If you want to log in on Linux 2, same thing. We'll change the IP. Now you see we are able to log in on Linux 2. Okay. So this is how we take SSH. Okay. So SSH is used to log in remotely on devices in CLI mode. It's not only Linux. We can access Windows also through SSH. We can access any networking devices also like load balancer, firewall, router, switches, any type of device. Okay. I hope till here things are okay. Any confusion? No confusion, right?
No, sir. It's no, sir.
Okay, fine then. So I'll move to the next, that is controlling services and daemons. Okay. So controlling services and daemon. First, I'll share you the file. So what exactly is a service? So service is a program which responds to the request from other program, okay, over some interprocess. So like we have a Firefox. So Firefox is what here as a program, and using the Firefox we generate the request to see the web page, and that Firefox create a request in a proper format, HTTP request format, or and then it forwards to the server. So that's why it is written which responds to request from other program over network. So service is what server provides. Next is daemon. So what exactly is a daemon? It is a service process which run in the background, and it is going to supervise the system, or it is going to provide functionality to another process. So here in this topic, what we have to do, we have to learn how to check and control any services. Okay, for example, I want to check whether SSH service is running or not. So in Linux, we have command systemctl space status and service name. So SSH is the service and D will be there. In most of the services, in the last it will be D. So here you can see open SSH server daemon, which is actively running. Similarly, for the same, we can use another command that is called service sshd status. So it will also give the same output, service, service name, then status, or you can use systemctl. Now to stop any service. So now you see this SSH is running on Linux too, na? So I'm going to stop it. Systemctl stop. After this, if we check the status, we can see service is inactive or dead. From what time it is showing there. When the service is down and we are trying to access the machine Linux 2, you will see connect to the host this port 22 connection refused. Okay, just a minute, I have to take a call. Hello. Hmm. Oh, I see. No. Okay, so we were in the services, so we have stopped the service and we can see connection to port number 22, which is of SSH, refused because the service is stopped. Now the next, when we are going to start the service, instead of a stop, we will use the command start. We see the status, it's running, and then when we are going to try accessing the same, we will be able to access. So this is how the services are controlled. Okay. So we can start the service, we can stop the service, we can restart the service. So just now you have seen we have restarted the network service. Also, we can start and stop the service permanently. Permanently means now what we have done, that is going to affect only till this system is on. When the system is going to restart, then that service will stop if it is not set to start permanently. Okay, or we can see that it is not set to start automatically or start during the startup. So if you want to enable it permanently, then we have to use command enable, and to disable it, disable. When the system boot, accordingly it will either start the service or it will stop. So this is in the services and daemon. So any question here?
Tanveer, if we,
Mhm.
how to check for what and all service running in the system?
What are the services running in the system, right?
Hmm. Not for the specific, for overall services.
Overall service, you want to see the list.
Yes.
For that, you have to go in the show application, utilities. It is going to open calculator. You have to go in utilities, and then here we have to go in system monitor. Okay. Okay. So here I think no, this is process. Let me check the options are somewhere else. Think in settings. It is not giving the option here. There will be some command. Let me cross check it. So one thing is system CTL type equal to service hyphen hyphen state equal to running. So it is going to give the list. Okay, clear? Or similarly, we can use for the stopped. Or inactive. Okay. So like this, we can find services which is not running. Clear?
Not clear.
Mhm. Okay, fine then. Now we are done with this. Moving to the next, that is our SC Linux and firewall. I think ACL we have already done na? In previous session.
Yes, sir, it's done.
Done na? Okay. So now moving to the firewall. QRS, SC Linux and firewall. So here, this SC Linux and firewall. What exactly is this? So first of all, when we talk about the SC Linux, it stands for Security Enhanced Linux, and it is a kernel security module where we can define the access control security policies. Okay, so what type of files or the services can be accessed. So based on that, like we have no user account control in Windows when we try to install anything, accordingly it allow or ask. Similarly, here we have the SE Linux. So for the SE Linux, we need to type the set SE bool, and then accordingly we have to type the things. So that based on the service, we will see wherever we need to write the SE Linux context, like for the NFS or for the Samba. So as per the requirement. Here, what we are going to see, there are two modes, permissive and enforcing. So what is the difference? If we set it to enforcing mode, which is by default set. So in enforcing mode, what it is going to do, based on the rule, only it will allow, else rest all it will be denied. Okay. And in permissive mode, based on the rule, it will allow, plus if anything is getting violated, it will also allow, but it will create a log. Okay, that is permissive mode. So sometimes what happens when we have configured everything and we are trying to access the service, and if it is not working properly, then we can check whether this AC Linux is blocking or not. For that, we have command get enforce to see the AC Linux status. You see, by default, it is in enforcing mode. Set enforce space 0, 0 to set in permissive mode, and the 1 to set in enforcing mode. Okay, so like this we can change. Now coming to firewall. So what exactly is the firewall? So this firewall can be a software or hardware, and the work of a firewall is like a security guard. So it is going to filter incoming and outgoing both type of traffic based on this rule defined by the administrator. So we are going to define the rule that which type of traffic, which type of networks are allowed to communicate, which type of services are allowed to communicate. So that is firewall. Okay, so it can be a hardware or it can be a software. So when it is a software firewall, it will be either built in operating system, like we have Windows firewall, Linux firewall, or it can come along with the antivirus software. Also, it can come as a separate software. So this software firewall can be used to protect only one device where it is installed. Like Windows firewall is going to protect that window machine. When we talk about the hardware firewall, means firewall as a device, then it is going to protect entire network. So it is placed just after the router from where all the traffic goes outside the network, or any traffic from outside the network enters in the network. So for that, we have the hardware firewall. And here also the work is same. Filtration of incoming and outgoing traffic based on the rules. One more type of firewall which is nowadays available, that is called web application firewall, WAF. So web application firewall is used to protect web application server. So generally this network firewall, this hardware firewall is going to work based on the layer 4 or layer 3 information. Layer 3 information means we can define source and destination accordingly, allow or deny for a specific service. Or layer 4 means we will allow or deny any specific protocol or its port number. Okay. But if any traffic comes, looks like a trusted, and it is going to block, it is going to have some malicious data inside it. So how it will be identified? For that, we need to see the header, okay, HTTP header or HTTPS header. So for that, this web application firewall is capable. Okay, so WAF is used for this all. So WAF is used to protect web application server. So when any request comes, first it will get filtered on the network firewall, then it will be forwarded to application server. WAF will inspect it whether the request is genuine or malicious, and after that it will be forwarded to the application server. Now we have some different type of zones. Okay, one is called block zone, demilitarized zone, drop zone. So zone means what? Here zone means area. So generally when we are connected to internet, we will be in the public zone. Okay. Then we have another type of zone, that is demilitarized zone, where we give some limited access. Okay. Then we have the block zone where all the incoming connections are rejected. Then we have the internal zones, public zones, trusted zone. Okay. So trusted zone means from where all the network connections are accepted. So these are the different zones, and for every different zones, we'll have different type of uh, this rules. Okay. So now, if you want to install your firewall in graphical version, generally your firewall is not installed in graphical version. If you see here, activities, so application, here you see we don't have firewall as a graphical option. Here we have the Firefox. Okay. To install it in graphical version, what we need to do, either yum or rpm. So here yum is not configured, so what I will do, I'll connect CD DVD. Okay, now yum mount slash div slash src. So mounted on MNT folder, cd MNT slash app stream. Inside that we have the folder packages. So we'll go there, and here we can see we have full of the packages. So see the list. Yes, these are the packages. Now here we'll write rpm minus ivh. I need firewall minus config. So firewall minus config and press tab. You see this package is selected. Install it. Now here we can see activities. So application. Okay. And here we can see in this show application that click from here and come back. This quit. Now in these activities again, go to this show application, and you can see earlier this firewall was not showing. Now we can see the firewall graphically. We can manage it from here. Let it open. You see. So from here you see different zones are there. Okay. And on our interface ENP0S3, the default zone which is working is public. So here these are the services which is allowed. You can see check mark is there. So if you want to allow any service, just check mark it. That is enough. You want to set it in runtime environment or permanent. Okay, so that we can set accordingly. I hope these things are clear. Any confusion? Now, how to configure this firewall rules in Linux, and to see these effects, we will cover the same, because a lot of things are there to show and demonstrate. That's why I'm not going to be in hurry. Only few minutes are remaining. So next class in which is tomorrow, we will cover this all firewall. We'll see the effect. We'll define the rules and all. Okay. We have done SCP. Services and demos. Next class, we are going to cover configuring firewall rules, Apache, and DSCP. So this much we are going to cover in the next class. Okay. So I hope things are clear for today. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, fine then. We'll connect tomorrow and we'll see how to configure the firewall rules.